I came across a video by the creator, Delaware Realtor Zach. I highly recommend you go watch it. Essentially, in the video, he talks and gives a very good articulated understanding of how the economic system, we're either most likely over the next 2 to 5 years going to see some form of extreme inflation or an economic collapse. And I highly agree with his position on this. However, I would also like to redirect your attention and give a little bit of a different quantitative and qualitative analysis to it. But again, I recommend go watching his video. But here we go. Firstly, I want to point out more and more people need to be talking about this because no matter pretty much anything that happens moving forward, we are headed for this unless drastic action is taken. Here are some numbers. The average growth rate of the GDP of the United States is 2.5%. Inflation is typically about 2%. So in nominal GDP terms, we look at essentially that we grow at about 4.5, maybe sometimes 5% per year. Now, given the one big beautiful bill is reducing taxes, and yes, some people will come in here and say tariffs themselves are not going to be able to make up for the amount of losses to the amount of revenue that that was incoming. The debt is growing at 6% year over year, and actually it's about 6.1 to 6.2% year over year. It's pretty simple to recognize that the debt is literally growing faster than the country's GDP is growing. Now, the debt to GDP ratio for the United States right now at the end of the fiscal year 2025, which is today, the 30th of September, we're sitting at about 124%. I've seen it a little bit higher, maybe 124.2% or something like that, but 124%. Now, what I need people to fundamentally understand is that the United States is based on a debt-based system, meaning in order for us to actually grow, we need to print more money. We need more debt to be added to the system. But at the same time, the amount of debt that is added to the system has a lower and lower and lower amount of output that is added to the GDP, meaning the actual result of the amount of money that is printed into the system has a lower ability, uh, a reduced output to the ability for the economic engine to actually grow. Meaning that if we need to grow out of the debt of about a 6%, if we need to grow 8, 9, 10%, we are essentially in this loop where we need to print more money in order to grow more, but at the same time, the more debt that we put into the system to grow, the less that each dollar has an ability to actually help us